what was agreed every single month. But I only found out because one day it cut out and she was like, yeah, I need some extra money actually in order to pay it because I don't have it right now. And I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, cool. So I gave her the extra money and stuff. But it took like 3 days. And in those 3 days, I realized that 2 of the places were still running, 2 of the apartments on the 3rd floor were still having energy because she had done some gambiarra where they were just getting energy from the neighbors as well as from me. So they just did all these little tricks. E aí, beleza, bem-vindo, what's up, what's good, and welcome to the Brazilian podcast with me, your host, Steven, reporting live from Salvador, Bahia, Brazil. What's good, people? Muito tempo, sumidei, sumidei, I don't even know what the hell that means. Yes, I vanished, I disappeared, but I'm back. Eu voltei, a gente voltou, we are here, we are back, and it's good to be with you again. So first things first, I need to explain what the hell happened and where the hell I've been. So basically, I've been having what we like to call finger trouble. My tools weren't working as well as they needed to, and I was trying to get them fixed. In the last couple of weeks, I've recorded a few episodes and some of them have just been trash in terms of like quality, and others have just gone missing in the ether and the internet and whatnot. So that's one of the reasons why I've not been around. Yeah, I must confess, what happened to me in terms of my tools really did put me in a really low vibrational state, and the idea of recording at that time probably wouldn't have been a great idea. That being said, well, there's a Brazilian phrase that I like to use. It's called A Gente Se Vira, as in we get through this. I think that's probably the best way to translate that. So, you know, that's what we do. We just keep it moving. And actually, one of the ways in which I managed to record the stuff that hopefully will come out at some point that I did was just by borrowing some equipment from some friends, doing some weird sort of MacGyver style stuff. Actually, there's a phrase that we use in Brazil. It's called gambiarra. And a gambiarra is like, how can I translate this? It's like a makeshift, probably shouldn't work, been made out of sort of loads of nothing and broken bits. I think that's probably where I got the idea of MacGyver from, because I've never seen MacGyver in my life. But when someone explained to me what gambiarra was, they said, like MacGyver. Obviously, they watch MacGyver in Brazil, or they did. I didn't in England. But, just this kind of thing where you, take a wire from here and you connect it to another satellite or something, cable, in order to, get your TV to, still cable or something, or turn your oven on, or whatever kind of like makeshift, quick thinking thing you can do to make something work. I mean, that was how I was recording my podcast anyway for the last couple of weeks. So yeah, it was a bit of a gambiarra. The phrase gambiarra you can use for loads of different things. Like, for example, if I was, say, cooking or wanting to cook, but I didn't have enough food in the fridge, I would make a gambiarra, which would probably mean, a little bit of the leftover zucchini, some chicken, a tiny bit of rice that was left over and stuff like that. That would be my gambiarra, if that makes sense. So anyway, that is how it's been. Enfim, galera, obrigado pela sua atenção ainda. Eu tô falando isso porque, se tem alguém aqui que está escutando no Brasil que não fala inglês, ou tá tentando falar inglês, tá entendendo que quando eu falo mais ainda, eu tô falando que meu equipamento tava ruim, mas melhorou. Just explaining in my Portuguese the reason why I sumi. So yeah, in my own personal news, I've been going on a bit of a spiritual journey which I really look forward to talking about very soon with some, I'd like to say, experts and people who know a little bit more about it than maybe I could explain. I don't want to butcher any names or anything like that. So it's probably best to hear from them. And we will hear from them very soon. So I'm really excited about that. The elections are very close. Definitely got to hear about that. And another thing that I think would be interesting, and to be honest, I'm dying to talk about football as in the World Cup, as in the English Premier League, Brazilian League, Brasileirão, and a few other things like that, which might interest some of you, might not interest all of you, but it's definitely one of my things that I take from this. And of course, I need to hear from you. I got some messages recently asking me about how it is to get visas and residency and all these kind of things that, are normal questions to ask. Thank you for the people that hit me up, and I hope that the information that I gave you was helpful, or as much as it could have been. And if you have any questions, Communidade, if you have any questions like that you don't want to write in the comment sections of these platforms, you can hit me up on Instagram, on the Brazilian podcast Instagram, which is the underline, that's very Brazilian, the _Brazilian _podcast, and you'll find us there. We'll get back to you. So all good with that. Cool. So again, Communidade, seu lição de casa, your homework, oh my God, listen, if I'm calling this homework, and it just sounds weird, just know that I taught English for a very long time, and just saying things like homework as in task and stuff like that just sounds very normal to me. I'm not trying to belittle anyone. It's just, it is what it is. But anyway, your task, which you can do at home this week, would be to let us know what your gambiarra is, or what kind of gambiarras you've done in the past. But so just show us or let us know what your gambiarras are. Remember, this can be anything from how you manage to whip up a 3-course meal with hardly any ingredients, or how you get your power coming into your building. I mean, I doubt anyone does that. Well, I mean, there are places where people do that, and maybe you shouldn't take too much of a photo of that. Actually, side note, I remember I had a weird gambiarra in a place that I lived, and they had 3 apartments. This was a really lovely place just off the beach, as in the same road as the beach, so you're literally right in front of it. Beautiful place. Pelo visto. Beautiful place because of the view, but in terms of the inside of the place, it was, it was okay. But inside it lived this terrible old woman and her brother, and bless them, they were just such massive alcoholics. No disrespect to anyone who has a drinking problem, but it really ate into them, and it made them really nasty at times and stuff like that. They'd always hit me up with, where's my rent, every single month. How annoying. And I did pay my rent on time. They didn't remember, and they would just sort of try and, what's the word, barrage me, bater with flipping insults and shit. Some of the fun things that happen when you're a gringo. But anyway, one of the gambiarras that they did is they had 4 apartments on the first and second floor. Oh no, the second and third floor. And the first floor was a different apartment. And they would somehow they'd managed to power all of the apartments on the third floor with the same energy supply, whatever that means, the same power as the second floor, which was my apartment. So I was paying for everyone's electricity, bar one. And when I say I was paying for it, I mean I was paying for it, but it wasn't in my name or anything like that. And it was still in the landlady's name, or the land people's names, the owners' names, the Donna's name. Now, one time she didn't pay, she wasn't paying her energy bill. And I only found that out because I was paying what was agreed every single month, but I only found out because one day it cut out, and she was like, yeah, I need some extra money actually in order to pay it because I don't have it right now. And I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake, okay, cool. So I gave her the extra money and stuff, but it took 3 days. And in those 3 days, I realized that 2 of the places were still running, 2 of the apartments, on the third floor were still having energy because she had done some gambiarra where they were just getting energy from the neighbors as well as from me. So they just did all these little tricks and it was just like crazy. And I remember one time when the electric people came down, Coelba is the name. When Coelba came down to sort the energy out, she had to like sort of prove what was being powered. And she was like, oh, you need to turn your microwave on, make sure your computer's plugged in, just use up all the energy so it looks like a lot of energy is coming from that one apartment. And I was like, wow, what a Gambia. These people are, listen, Brazilians are cool, yeah, but they can be crafty. They're the most imaginative people that I've seen in a very, very long time. You know, they, as we say, A GENTE SE VIRA, they really get through it. They know how to do certain tricks. So that was a gambiarra anyway. Cool story, bro. Right, anyway, Communidade, obrigado pela sua escuta. Oh God, my Portuguese is dying. Thank you for listening. Obrigado pela sua atenção. So on that note, Communidade, obrigado, até logo, and peace.